That down. Let's move on to this. You know, whenever you talk about names that people want to see join the MCU, we've had some amazing, huge names join the MCU, whether it's Robert Redford, Sir Anthony Hopkins, Sir Ben Kingsley, on and on and on, right? Huge, iconic names joining. So the conversation usually comes up about what other huge, iconic names would you like to see? One of the ones that always comes up is Denzel Washington. Well, guess what? According to Denzel Washington is joining the MCU.
Yeah.
In a recent interview, he was asked about a bunch of things, and this is what he said. And it comes across as if this is something he was not supposed to say. But he's talking about retiring. He said this, "At this point in my career, I'm only interested in working with the best," Washington said in the interview. "I don't know how many more films I'm going to be able to make. Probably not that many. I want to do things I haven't done. I played Othello at 22. I'm about to play Othello at 70. After that, I'm playing Hannibal. After that, I've been talking with Steve McQueen about a film. After that, Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther.
Feige fell out of his chair.
After that, I'm going to do the film Othello. After that, I'm going to do King Lear. And after that, I'm going to retire."
It's a lot of Shakespeare.
Now, first of all, listen, Denzel saying he's put a pin in the board for when he's retiring in and of itself should be a story. But again, it still looks like we're about 4 or 5 movies away from that. So we'll put a pin in that for now. For him to come out straight up and say, "Oh yeah, and Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther." I'm sorry, can we go back to that first? What? Yeah, he's going to be in the MCU. It's coming straight from Denzel's mouth.
That puts it further along than Blade.
We are going to see Denzel Washington in the MCU before we see Mahershala Ali in the MCU. Now, look. Sorry, Ray. Now, look, I put in the title of today's episode that Denzel Washington joining the MCU in Black Panther 3. That might be a mistake, because to be specific, he didn't say Coogler's writing a part for me in Black Panther 3. He said he's writing a part for me in the next Black Panther. But John, isn't that the same thing? It's probably the same thing, but I guess there's some wiggle room that it could be another kind of movie that is a Black Panther movie, but may not necessarily be Black Panther 3. So whatever, that could just be semantics. The bottom line is here, Denzel Washington is coming to the MCU. Now, if you had told me yesterday, Denzel's coming to the MCU, who do you think he's going to be? I would have put a good $20 on that he was going to be Magneto.
Yeah.
That would have been the first, because we've kind of talked about that a lot. I think he would be an incredible Magneto. But it also sounds like this is going to be a one-shot. Because he says, I'm going to do a Black Panther, then I'm doing Othello, then King Lear, then I'm retiring. So I don't know. Maybe success has a way of changing people's minds. And listen, I'm going to tell you this. In his long, illustrious, award-laden career, this movie is going to be the one he makes the most money on. This will be the biggest payday of his career. And maybe he's thinking, you know what? I deserve one. Of all the great cinema I've made, I deserve one that's just a really good payday. And it's working with an incredible director like Ryan Coogler. So if you can do the best of both worlds, if you can work with one of the hottest, best filmmakers, and probably collect the biggest payday you've ever had in your career, why not do both at once?
Why not?
Why not, indeed? I mean, hey.
He deserves it, man.
He absolutely deserves it. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Absolutely, man.
It's a really good retirement plan, too.
It's an excellent retirement.
Do what you want to do, Denzel. It's your world right here.
Yeah.
So,
but I'll tell you what. Let's say they turn things around, because, of course, Black Panther 2 wasn't that good. I mean, it just wasn't. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it wasn't that good. It made about, I think, a little over 500 million, like $500 million less than Black Panther 1 made. And it's fine for a second film to make a bit less than the first one, but it made like $500 million less than the one before.
Still
that.
860 though.
Yeah, still in the 800 millions. $500 million less than the 1.3 something million that the first one made. And again, it's just, you know what? It's a completely unmemorable film. It was what it was. You bring in a Denzel Washington, you've piqued my interest. You bring in one of the greatest actors of all time, one of the most important actors of all time, you've piqued my interest. So, yeah, I was kind of hoping for a Magneto. I'm not going to lie. But I'll take Denzel Washington in the MCU in any way. Hell, the DCU. I'll take Denzel Washington in one of these films in whatever way, shape, or form I can. And there's one other element to this, Chris, I want to throw out there.
Okay.
Because, yes, Sir Anthony Hopkins has been in the MCU. Yes, Robert Redford, Sir Ben Kingsley,
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, Glenn Close.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had some iconic names. I feel like Denzel, I feel like that's going to throw open the floodgates. Like we've had guys like, I'm going to throw a name out there, Leonardo DiCaprio. I think if Denzel does the MCU, I think Leonardo DiCaprio starts thinking, you know what? Maybe I can do one of those. That's both critically loved with a world-class filmmaker and collect the biggest payday of my life. Maybe a Brad Pitt, who technically is already in the MCU as the Invisible Boy. I mean, technically speaking, he is, I suppose, but maybe maybe some of these other, again, I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Jean. So the colder season is here, and guess what? I am living in the perfect jean. These jeans are super stretchy, soft, and totally trick people into thinking I've got my life together. And I'm telling you this because I actually love them. These are absolutely, no questions asked, my favorite jeans that I have ever owned. And yes, the folks over at The Perfect Jean are paying me to say that, but it's still absolutely true. These are my favorite jeans ever. These jeans have enough stretch to accommodate Thanksgiving dinner and are comfy enough to wear all day watching Sunday football. Plus, even though they feel like sweatpants, they look good enough to be your go-to pants for date night. And listen, the Perfect Jean isn't even just pants. They've revolutionized t-shirts as well. The Perfect Tee has just enough stretch to hide that beer belly while accentuating your arms and chest for that flawless look. My guys, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with the promo code CAMPEA. And after you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you. F your khakis and get the perfect jean. But anyway, Chris, you read about this. Denzel probably just pulled a Tom Holland, maybe said something he wasn't supposed to say.
And no one will ever correct him.
Exactly. Unlike Tom Holland, they're like, no, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, nobody is ringing up Denzel's phone to chastise
No.
Denzel. If somebody did, Denzel goes, you might want to rethink what you're doing. No one is chastising Denzel. But anyway, Denzel himself has confirmed he's getting a part written for him in the next Black Panther film. Your response to that?
Oh, it's so exciting. That's great. That makes me really excited about whatever they do next with Black Panther. I love Chat did this too. It was, can we get his son to be T'Challa then? Can we get David Washington up in here?
David Washington would be a great new
love
T'Challa.
that. I think it'd be killer. I love this. Honestly, the thing that I'm most excited about in this quote, though, is him returning to being Othello, because how cool is it to go from playing a role when you were 22 to taking on the role again when you're about to turn 70? Like that's wild.
Hugh Jackman came close to doing that with Wolverine a little bit.
This is true. Yeah. But I'm
a
so
50-year difference.
I'm so excited to see how he approaches that role and everything, because when he does Shakespeare, like Much Ado About Nothing and Macbeth, obviously, oh my gosh, he's killer. But I think this also goes to show that these films attract talent. They attract real incredible thespians.
Yeah.
Really amazing actors want to be in this. Really great directors and writers want to be doing these things. And if you can make really, again, quality storytelling is what ultimately people want to go see. If it happens to be attached to something that was once a graphic novel, it's not a big deal. You can tell really great stories that attract this caliber of actor to come on board. And the paycheck, I'm sure, does not hurt. We all should be so lucky as to, be able to end our career on a Marvel movie.
There's also a lot of actors or actresses that have grandchildren that want them to be in a MCU movie, like encourage them. That's got to be some sort of motivation.
Well, to your point, I was talking with Anthony Hopkins. It was right before the first Thor movie came out. And I was talking with Anthony Hopkins, I should say Sir Anthony. And he specifically said that. I was like, what, with everything you've done in your career, like what brings this? And he specifically said, my grandchildren.
Yeah, if anything will get their attention, it's something like that.
Yeah.
They're going to be calling you Iron Man or Black Panther for the rest of their lives. If you
Actually, even Jennifer Garner was saying, I just watched a video with Jennifer Garner where she said, like, I think one of the big, besides the fact, remember, she worked with Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy in Adam Project. So she loved that. So she was going to do whatever with them again. But she said one of the reasons that she did come back was so I could look cool in front of my kids and their friends.
Yeah.
I'm Elektra now. I'm not just mom. Now I'm Elektra again or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's probably a big motivating factor because, listen, Denzel's one of those actors that the name Denzel is always Denzel, right? In whatever generation. But maybe one of the things that he's thinking is, and I'm speculating here, I do a Marvel movie now. I am now Denzel to a whole new generation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, I will be like a fan favorite to kids, their parents, and their grandparents. And not many actors get to do that.
Has he done any voiceover work for, like, let's say,
That's a great question.
Pixar or like this?
We have a voiceover artist in the room who might not. Has Denzel
I'm
ever done
checking.
one?
I don't know if
I
he
don't-
Because that
really-
could be some
That's a great
thing he
question. I
hasn't
don't know.
tapped into yet. If he's even interested in something like that, but he has a great voice. He has that.
Oh,
I
he
don't know-
does.
I don't know what accent he's carrying, but he always has that little shtick to it that I really love.
I'm not sure where he was born. I can't remember.
Where Denzel was born?
Yeah, that would give an indication to that his accent.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Whatever
what
it
city,
is. He's
you
just so good.
New
He's
York.
New York.
He was born in New York?
There you go.
Yeah, makes sense. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Denzel himself has said he's coming to the MCU in a Black Panther movie. What kind of role do you think it will be? Do you think maybe if it's big enough, he'll stick around? Will he get knocked off in the first film? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.